Let's begin today with a deeper question. What if your ability to receive, whether you want to receive something like money or love or support or time, what if your ability to receive has less to do with what you do with those external actions and more to do with how deeply your body and soul know how to hold goodness? This is the part of the receiving conversation that so many teachings skip. They those teachings tell us to set intentions, take inspired action, trust the process, be the frequency of what you want. But what happens when all of that starts working? What happens when the goodness you've been calling in does begin to arrive? And then, yes, you feel amazing for a moment. And then there's that part of you that starts to clench a little bit, shuts down a little bit, flinches, waits for the other shoe to drop, wonders what the payment's going to be. We think that getting what we want is going to automatically be a good thing. It's going to make us happy. It's going to erase all of those parts of us that don't feel good. And of course, getting what you want does feel good. Many, many levels, it does feel good. But there's also levels in which it doesn't. And that's what we're exploring today. How that feeling of receiving, how that impacts your ability to continue to receive. So, hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jennifer Bloom, Soul Abundance Guide, and I work with spiritually savvy people, people just like you, people who have done the work, use the tools, follow the practices, but still don't feel consistently supported by money, by life, by the divine. Together, we uncover and transform the soul level patterns that block your receiving so that you can experience not just more wealth, but wealth plus room in your life for joy and peace and pleasure. Now, if you're the kind of person who is ready to jump in and just ready to do the work, you can start that journey at abundanceheartbreak.com. You're going to find an experiential exercise there that's going to help you begin to see what's at the core of your receiving issue and get you started on being able to really step into abundance and receiving regularly, not just here and there, but really feel like that flow is in place. Now, today, in this conversation, this is the final episode of the Receiving Rewired series. We've done 3 previous episodes, so if this speaks to you, go back and take a look. Today, we're talking about building that inner architecture of receiving, not just calling it in, but we're talking about holding it, nourishing it, letting it grow, allowing yourself to really be able to stay in the flow no matter what's going on around you. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. If receiving what you want feels super inconsistent, or it feels like you're exhausted by all the effort that you are putting into getting what you want, that means you're trying to funnel divine abundance, right? This divine resource that we all have equal access to in whatever levels we're asking for. We're trying to funnel that divine abundance through an inner system, an inner architecture that was wired more for survival rather than receiving. Throughout your growing up years, from the time that you were in utero through the time now, right? There are so many things that you were wired for based on parental influence, family of origin influence, religious influence, cultural influences, social influences, friend influences, teachers, guides, right? We learned to monitor others to make sure they were okay with us and our actions. We were wired to hustle for approval, earn our way into love, earn our way into belonging, earn our way into deserving rest. And then all of that becomes our inner architecture. It becomes our inner blueprint. Because we have that blueprint, we end up not getting what we want. Right? So if you are desiring joy and peace and a flow of money, but your inner architecture says that's not safe, you don't get what you want. And when you start learning about spirituality and manifestation and all those tools, we try to change the results, those outside results, the money, the love, the freedom, the joy, right? We try to change that by asking for more abundance, saying things like I'm wealthy or I deserve love. And we're trying to work with the universe to bring more. Okay? But when you've got that inner architecture that's more about survival or more about earning what it is that you receive, when that abundance starts to come in, you don't have anywhere to hold it. So that can look like receiving a whole bunch of money and it just goes out the window. Having a really first good, several good months with a new person in your life, and then it just fizzles out. Grabbing yourself a brand new car and it's a lemon, right? So yeah, you called it in, but it doesn't hang out. Right? Your nervous system, your subconscious, even I would call it your spiritual circuitry, if you will, all of those elements within have been shaped by years of managing resources, proving that you deserve what you are asking for, coping for what's present. So when I talk about being wired for receiving, what I mean is being able to create this really spacious inner structure that knows how to welcome more, and to be able to welcome in that more without going into shutdown, without going into sabotage, without having this up and down, I have it, I don't, I have it, I don't, I have it, I don't, I don't, I don't, right? Without that cycle of feast or famine. As you know, right, the universe operates through a series of spiritual laws. And one of those laws is the law of resonance. And remember, the law of resonance says you don't receive what you want, you don't receive what you hope for, you receive what your energy is congruent with. So, the question I want you to ask yourself, given all the evidence that's around you, and this comes without any judgment, it's just awareness, right? Are you resonating with sumptuous, voluminous overflow? Or are you in resonance with just enough? Are you in resonance with joy and freedom and peace? Or are you in resonance with pressure? So please remember that rewiring your inner architecture isn't about pushing harder. It's not about striving. It's not like pounding a square peg into a round hole. It's about creating the internal frequency that just knows down to the very core of your being that it is allowed to receive. It's safe to receive. So let's start this process within you. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and let's ask that question. Is my inner system wired for overflow or for just enough? Is it wired for trust or control? Is it wired for receiving or for proving? Okay, so you can open your eyes again. And I'm going to ask you to just notice what came up. What's that intuitive response within you? And again, remembering this is not about judging. It's not about, oh no, here's something else I have to do, right? It's really meant to give you a visceral experience of what you're actually in resonance with. Because when you know what you're in resonance with, that means you get a choice, right? And what I'd love to do throughout the course of our conversation today is begin to lay that new structure. Okay. So let's do another exercise. Go ahead and close your eyes and put a hand over your heart, if that's comfortable. And I'm going to ask you to bring to mind something that you've been wanting to receive. Maybe it's money, maybe it's more support, maybe it's more connections, maybe it's more space. And here's then the question that I want you to ask once you've decided on what it is. So, with your hand over your heart and feeling your body and feeling that your energetic field all around you, I want you to imagine that thing that you want. And if it arrived today, right? So just let that come into your system for a moment, whether it's that feeling of abundance, of money, whether it's a feeling of freedom, whether it's a feeling of peace. So just imagine that coming in today. And then ask the question, what happens now? What happens next? What does my mind do next? What do my emotions do next? When I access my divine wisdom, what do I believe next? And then just notice. Is it this feeling of excitement of, well, if that was fun, what can I have? How can I have more of that? Or yes, please, more, please. Or is it this feeling of, how long is this going to stay? What am I going to have to do next for that next big check? What do I have to do next for the next big launch? Yeah, this feeling of freedom is great, but what am I missing? Notice if there's, even if you're not getting any language, what are you noticing as far as how your body feels? Are you noticing tension? Or are you noticing just a real quiet rootedness? Okay, so you can drop your hand and come on back. Everything that's coming up is showing you what that architecture is. Okay. And this is where you get to decide whether that architecture is just really fantastic, at which point you could probably just stop listening, right? Or you can say, what do I need to do next? All right. So in terms of starting to rewire or rebuild this inner architecture, something that is imperative is that you feel safe with whatever you're asking for. You cannot receive what you don't feel safe holding. So let me say that again. You cannot receive what you don't feel safe holding. This is both a spiritual and a biological truth. It's not a mindset, it's not a tactic. It's a spiritual and a biological truth. Because your body and your subconscious will always protect you from what they perceive as dangerous. And what's dangerous? What's dangerous is if you are inviting something in where there's a rule that says no, right? If there's a inner piece of architecture that says money's going to change me, or I'm going to have to work my butt off to constantly get what I want, or I'm only worthy of what I receive if I have put in all of this effort, or I'm the one who does the work, I'm the one who puts in the effort. That's just the rule, right? If all of that is within your system, anything that's opposite to that, your body and your mind is going to go, nope, just it's not safe. And that's where the sabotage comes in. And this is true even if your conscious mind is calling what you're asking for the biggest dream you've ever had, most in alignment with your soul. Like if you feel that soul connection, that heart connection, and you're like, yes, this is it. I'm doing the work I'm meant to do on the planet. No matter with that, even with that level of yes, please, if it's opposite, your whole system is going to work against you. So things to ask yourself are, would receiving more money make you feel like you are going outside your family structure? Even if that family structure isn't part of your day-to-day life anymore, does that feel a little bit dangerous? Would having more time of just rest, of having downtime, would that create a little warning bell saying, I'm slacking, not doing enough? Okay. Would being seen in abundance make you feel safe or unsafe? Loyal, disloyal, judged, right? Okay. So these are not blocks that are part of your conscious mind. They are energetic safety mechanisms. And they're often born from the earliest experiences of conditional love. But here's how I want you to start to think. Safety isn't something you wait to feel once abundance arrives. It's something you build to prepare for its arrival. Safety isn't something that you wait to feel once abundance arrives, once that extra time arrives, once that freedom arrives. It's something that you build to prepare for its arrival. It's spiritual work, it's soul work. And if you can begin to imagine, as you build in that sense of safety now, as you create your new relationship with the divine, as you create your new relationship with the laws of the universe, as you create a new relationship with trust, right? What you're doing is you're replacing that internal architecture that has been saying no with architecture that says yes, please. So if you can imagine new pillars going into your structure, what you're aiming for here is to start from that place of it's safe to be supported. It's safe to have what I want more than anything in the world. It's safe to be seen in my wholeness, not just my suffering. Right? You want to stop waiting for the external proof and instead hold those truths as your personal truth. Right? A divine truth is it is safe to be supported. It's safe to have what you want. It's safe to be seen in your wholeness. Those are divine truths. And you want them to be your internal truths. Okay. So to start to build this, we're going to do something in 2 steps. So I'm going to give you 3 statements, all that hit a little bit different angle of abundance. And I want you to just notice how your body responds. I want you to notice how true they sound to you. 0 to 10. 0 is they don't feel true at all. 10 is yes, absolutely true. Okay. So, first one is it is safe to receive more than enough. It is safe to receive more than enough. Okay. Next one. It's safe to hold abundance without guilt. It's safe to hold abundance with a clear mind and a clear heart. It's safe to hold abundance with a clear mind and a clear heart. How does your body respond? How true does that sound? And then the very last one, it's safe to stop performing for love. It's safe to stop performing for love. Okay, so what came up? Jot down your awarenesses. And remember, you're rewiring here. And the only way to rewire is to become aware of what the wires are in the first place. You can't rebuild architecture if you don't know what your architecture is already saying and doing. Okay. All right. So before we do anything with that, before we start rebuilding whatever aspects of those truths that you need, I want to say something here. And that is, you don't need to have perfect architecture in order to be able to receive what you want. But you do need to have practices that re-anchor you back to your truth when something happens. Because listen, there are always going to be moments when fear or scarcity or old stories come up. Right? The world is crazy pants right now. There are so many things going on in this world that if you spent any amount of time paying attention to them would throw you completely off track. And my daughter said to me a couple weeks back, Mom, I'm so tired of living in unprecedented times. And I really felt for her. And of course, with a little bit of wisdom with age, right? What we know is it's always unprecedented times. This time feels a little bit more than perhaps some other times, but there are always, 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 always going to be contrasting moments in your life. And there's a couple things to say about that. Is one is it's just a truth. The second is when things start blowing up around you, like let's say it's not external world kinds of things, but your own personal world, and things are starting to blow up, a lot of times it means you're in an expansion process, right? You're blowing the lid off of something old and you're setting yourself up for something even better. I want to say that differently. You're setting yourself up for whatever the next aspect is that you're looking for. It's not better or worse. It's just expansion, right? So in some ways, the fear and the worry is challenging, right? That sense of living through unprecedented times, and it feels like something you can't control. And then there are the parts of you where you're in your personal expansion and things are off kilter because there's part of you saying, I'm not going to live this way anymore. But no matter where it comes from, there's always going to be something that is going to challenge that inner architecture. So, what you really want to have in place are anchors, practices that bring you back into alignment with your true receiving nature. So, it isn't necessarily about using tools to create more and more and more abundance. It's about having the tools that really truly reconnect you with your own receiving nature. Because when you do that, right, that's the key. Things get a little bit wonky and you come back into alignment, and then your palms are up and out and open to receive. Things get a little bit wonky, you use your anchor, you come back, and now your palms are back open, ready to receive. I am sure you have a toolbox already of things that help. Some things that are favorites of mine are EFT. It's a really, really amazing body-based tool to help let go of fear, to let go of that grip of something that's happening that you can't control, or to release the anxiety loop that you get into, or the connection to past events, right? There can be tools like talking to an inner child, talking to an inner part, and helping it understand, hey, we're stepping into something new here, but I've got your back. It can be a tool like meeting with your soul language team and regularly checking in with your team for guidance. It could be a time of meditation. It could be a walk in nature. It could be dancing to really loud music. But you do want to have some tools in place so that you can keep coming back to this architecture. I think that it gets, if you're anything like me, I want to just take care of it. Let's just get it done, right? Let's just put something in place so that it's just over. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can check it off the list. And the more that you practice these practices, the easier it will get, the less out of alignment you'll become. But if you can know for certain that no matter what is thrown at you, you can come back to your essential nature, which is as a receiver, then you don't really have to worry what's going on around you. It doesn't, what's going on in the world, what's going on in your day-to-day life does not have to take you into that place of fear. You've got it. You've got the quote formula. There may be some times of discomfort, but each time you bring yourself back into alignment with your essential receiving nature, you're gathering more and more evidence, and you can then rely on that evidence. Okay. It's really about having the tools to play in a reality that's rooted in your divine truth, not past conditioning, not what the world wants to tell you to believe. but standing in your own receiving sovereignty. Okay. All right, so let's play with one of the tools here and notice how different it is to use the tool as opposed to just maybe repeating a mantra. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the statements that we talked about just a few moments ago, and we're going to tap with it. And the reason why you tap, I just spoke about it, but the reason why you tap is to both input something new as well as release any of the bits and pieces that are hanging on that are saying no to it. Or if they're bigger than just hanger-oners, then you are becoming aware of what is already within your architecture that is saying no. Okay, so we're going to take one of the statements. Let's work with it's safe to receive more than enough. And we're going to tap through the EFT points. And if you're not familiar with EFT at all, you can go to my channel. I've got an introductory video on it. But what we're basically doing is we're tapping on acupressure points that are going to help to release emotion and also input what it is that you want. That's a 5-second down and dirty version of what EFT is all about. There's so much more. But if you haven't ever done EFT before, just follow along. You're going to use one or two fingers, whatever feels right, and you're going to just gently tap on the points, and I will tell you what they are. Okay? So what I want you to do first is to take the statement, it's safe to receive more than enough. And just close your eyes, take a breath, and let that statement echo through your head a couple of times. It's safe to receive more than enough. It's safe to receive more than enough. And just tell me on a scale, you can pop it in the comments if you want, or just jot it down. On a scale of 0 to 10, how true does that sound to you? It's safe to receive more than enough. 0 to 10, how true does that sound? Okay, so then what we're going to do is you are going to start tapping on the inside end of your eyebrow and just repeat after me. We're going to go through all the points with the statement. It's safe to receive more than enough. And please repeat it out loud, okay? Outside of your eye. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your eye. It's safe to receive more than enough. I'll take my glasses off so you can see what I'm doing. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your nose. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your lip. It's safe to receive more than enough. Collarbone. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your arm, you're on your rib cage here. It's safe to receive more than enough. Top of your head. It's safe to receive more than enough. Good. All right, so then just relax your hand, take a nice deep breath, and tune in and notice what came up. How did your body feel while you were doing that? Did it feel like you were amplifying it? Like, did it feel like it was true and it got truer? Or were you noticing some yeah buts in your head? It's safe to receive more than enough. Yeah, but I never do. Yeah, but I'm the only one who doesn't. Yeah, but it doesn't ever stick around. Okay. So let's actually be a little more scientific about it. Take it. Close your eyes, take a breath. It's safe to receive more than enough. 0 to 10, how true does that sound to you? Has it gotten more true, meaning did your numbers go up? Did it get less true? Did your numbers go down, or did it stay about the same? Then just notice. What we're going to do, we're going to tap through it one more time. And if there were any yeah buts that were coming up, I want you to just concentrate on that for a moment. And if it got more true, focus on that. And then let's do one more round up to your eyebrow. It's safe to receive more than enough. Outside edge of your eye. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your eye. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your nose. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your lip. It's safe to receive more than enough. Collarbone. It's safe to receive more than enough. Under your arm. It's safe to receive more than enough. Top of your head. It's safe to receive more than enough. Good. Okay, so drop your hand, take a breath. And again, notice how you're feeling. Scale of 0 to 10. How true does that sound? It's safe to receive more than enough. Okay. So a couple of reasons, again, why we did this. Number one, notice how spending 2 minutes, if that, maybe 60 seconds, going through the points and tapping, going through the points and tapping again. Notice how more settled you feel in your body. Notice how even if you're not at a 10, even if you just went up the scale by half a point, I don't ever ask people for half a point because it gets too confusing, but even if you were to only go up half a point, you have built up that inner architecture in a new way. You've strengthened that inner architecture in a new way. And if while you were tapping, you became aware of things that are opposite to that statement, then that's a bonus because you have uncovered the architecture that's already there. And so then you can work with that to begin to release it and to build in something new. Okay. So I want to reiterate, these practices are not specifically meant to put your call out to the universe to say, I want more. That call has already gone out. Every time you have been in a situation that hasn't felt good, or when you've run a launch that hasn't worked, or you've balanced your checkbook and there's not quite as much in there as you want, or you look at your savings account and you say, I would like more. Right? Every time you've done that, you have connected with the universe in a way that the universe has heard. You don't have to keep asking for it. You get to, it's so much more efficient and effective to work on this internal architecture that allows you to open to receive. Because if you have that internal architecture that is a no, that doesn't feel safe, you've got a huge stop sign up to the universe saying, nope, I don't want it. So your mind says, yes, please. And your whole structure says, no, it's not going to come through. And it's just going to be, it's soul sucking. That's how we end up in abundance heartbreak. Because we know our truth. We know what we want. We know that we get to ask for it. And then it doesn't come. And we're left feeling like there's something wrong with me. Excuse me. Okay. So super important to spend time building up your inner architecture. Super important to have tools that you can use as a practice to return you to that, to the connection with your inner architecture. Because that is going to help you through the times that are kind of bumpy. All right. So let's back up. Let's take 3 giant steps back here. What does it mean? What does it look like to live as someone who receives, not just once, but consistently? What does it look like when you have that inner architecture that supports receiving all your goodness? It looks like action from clarity, not urgency. It looks like receiving without guilt. It looks like trusting that your value is seated, seeded, seated within you, not based on what you've done in the world out there. When your inner architecture is rooted in safety and in your personal connection to your drop of the divine, you stop managing your abundance like a project. I got to do it. 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 Right? You start living in partnership with your drop of the divine. You start living in the flow of divine resources. You become the person that life loves to support. Right? So, if anything that I have said during this conversation has stirred something in you where you're saying, yes, I'm ready, I want that, I'm going to invite you to do two things. The first is you can begin exploring what's blocking you with a free soul level experience at abundanceheartbreak.com. Completely free, and it's going to give you the a deeper awareness of the inner architecture that is out of alignment. And second, if you're ready to build this kind of architecture in a deeper way, I'd love to talk with you about what's possible. I guide people through this exact process of building inner architecture inside my Sumptuous Receiver program. It's a 3-month journey of rewiring how you receive, hold, grow wealth, worthiness, divine support. If you are ready to explore that, you can have a free conversation with me. I'll post it in the comments below. And whether you join that journey or not, here's what I want you to remember. You're not meant to battle your way into abundance. You're not meant to force abundance. You're not meant to over effort your way to abundance. You were designed to receive it. And every moment that you return to that frequency of your inner architecture, the divine is going to meet you right there. All right. So until we meet again, I offer you prosperous blessings. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.